We're live. What's going on? How's it going, D-Bags? I hope you guys are doing well. We're back at it again with another episode of the Detox Podcast. I'm your host, Darren Rita. I think there's a hair on my microphone, or maybe that's my mustache. Feel free to connect with me. Any of the links down below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing because we've got tons of music, comedy, and podcasts here on the channel. And we're only like 30 subscribers away from 600. So let's try and hit that before the end of the month. Now, before I introduce you guys, my guest for this week, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about car insurance. These days, it seems as if you're able to do more and more from home. So why aren't you saving money on your car insurance? Your hometown agency, Kenosha Auto Insurance, has specialized for years in simple, hassle-free insurance using the latest and touch-free technology to help you get the best rates for you and your family. So what are you waiting for? Give them a call today at 262-448-4141. That's 448-4141. The website is kenoshains.com. One last time, that's 262-448-4141. Please give them a call. Tell them that Detox, Darren Rita sent you. They will set you up. I've already had a couple people tell me that they were calling them or they have spoken to them and things are going well. So give them a call and they will get you set up right. With all that being said and out of the way, I'm excited to introduce you guys to my guest this week. She's a relatively new mom, and it also happens to be the very funny older sister of my girlfriend, whose birthday is today. So happy birthday, McKenna. She's behind the camera, helping out as always. So without further ado, let's give a wet detox welcome to Brielle Decicco. Clap track. We don't have the clap track. What's going on, Brielle?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good. It's cool to have you on the show. You've been a very big supporter of us. We've got some people in the chat already. Everybody's saying happy birthday to McKenna right now.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. What's going on? Happy birthday, McKenna. Everyone drop a happy birthday, McKenna, in the chat. There we go. McKenna is so loved.
So popular.
And you didn't even want to make an appearance today. But Brielle, today is not about McKenna anymore. I'm just kidding.
It's
Maybe
always about her.
Maybe we'll get back to that. But Brielle's here, and Brielle has been in the comments of several episodes. You came to our live show. You've been a supporter of us. I just want to say thank you, right off the bat, for always supporting us. I really appreciate it, and everybody else that's a fan of Detox appreciate it. But you, just like me, are the oldest of three siblings. And that's kind of something I really want to talk about with you today. What is McKenna's now 22, and she's the youngest. I'm 22 and the oldest. So how is that dynamic? How many years apart are you guys?
We are each 3.5 years apart. So McKenna and I are 7 years apart. So she's the one that's good at math. Yeah.
So that's that's similar to my family dynamic where it's I think we're each 2. So me and my brother, who's the youngest, are 5. It's about 5. But that's weird. Is that weird? Having one sibling so much closer to you and then the other one just a little bit further away?
I think having Reed, we're closer in age. Both McKenna and I probably fought with Reed the most.
Really?
Just because she's closer to both of us in age. Mm-hmm. And Reed's a little spunky, so yeah.
So that was literally gonna be my next question. Was who did you fight with more? Woohoo! Thanks, guys. McKenna said. Kevin says hello. He's in the chat. How's it going,
Hey,
Kevin?
The best bus boy ever.
The best bus boy for what? 2 weeks? Is that how long?
He used to sit down and on a cooler and do the dishes.
Sit down while doing the dishes?
Yeah. He was just
Kev, what are you doing?
Get up.
Kev has been getting roasted a ton in the live chat the last couple of days here.
He was pretty good.
That's funny. He was similar at Big Al's. He was kick ass for 2 weeks, and then he just kind of gets comfortable and starts sitting down and doing the dishes.
To get, and he'd come back with half of it. I don't know where it is.
Yeah, Kev's a silly guy. We love you, Kev. We love you, and I've heard great things. He's going to be serving at B-Dubs, so
perfect.
Let's hope all things go well.
I love those cauliflower wings.
Tell me, the cauliflower wings.
Yeah.
You've had those?
Yeah,
McKenna's had them too.
Yeah, I like the barbecue.
Are you still going vegan?
I'm vegetarian. Or I'm pescatarian, so I'll eat fish. I can't give up cheese though. I love cheese.
And so, what was the main inspiration for you to do that?
So, my daughter has PKU, so she isn't able to process a certain protein. It's called phenylalanine. It's really hard to say.
What is that in? What is that found in?
Everything,
really?
Basically. So she's only allowed, we call it phe. She's only allowed 150 milligrams of phe a day. So we have to be really diligent in her diet, and we have a spreadsheet, of course, because my husband created one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no protein at all. So yeah, it's been a
How does that
journey.
how does that work? I mean, like I'm sure you're probably figuring it out as you go too, but like how does that work in like in regard, because like, you need protein, you
Yeah.
know? But so how does she get like a supplement
Yeah, so
then?
she's gonna have to take like a formula, but they call it like a protein shake for the rest of her life
so
without that
so it's like protein but without
amino
that
acid. Yeah.
that okay. Interesting. That's
Yeah.
wild.
I know.
That's got to be. I mean, for I was gonna get into that a little bit later, but I guess we can go into it right now. I mean, you've been a mom now for a little over a year.
Yeah.
How has like that changed your life?
Oh, it's crazy. So when you're pregnant, people are always like, "Oh my God, you like will never know how much you love this baby." And it's just like when they come, you're like, "Oh my God, I totally get it."
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an unconditional love that you have for them, and it's fun being a mom. It's nice to be like needed by a little person.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we found out she had PKU like minutes of walking into the door from getting home from the hospital, and it was like your hormones are raging, and I was just like, oh my God, what is this disease? Like, is she gonna be okay?
Mm-hmm.
And people always ask, is she gonna grow out of it? And no, she'll never grow out of it. So, yeah, I remember going to the hospital, and we went to Children's Hospital, and walking in and like seeing all the kids that, had disabilities or, had little walkers. And it's like, okay, this isn't that bad. Like, we are so blessed that this is all that she has. So, yeah.
That's a good way. That's a good way to put it. And I think, too, it's just like, I feel like especially like it's something where you didn't find out, like it's not something that like she like developed, I guess, it's just
Right.
like if you had it, it's just like from the get-go you're kind of just already learning how to deal with it, like how to not necessarily deal with it but just move forward with it, like it's just a way of life.
Yeah, it's super rare. Like we found out that Derek and I were both like carriers or had the
recessive, the two lowercase r from like, chemistry.
Yeah, what are the odds of that?
Yeah, that's I mean I wasn't good. I cheated on a lot of chemistry, so sorry to my chemistry professors. So I wouldn't know anything about that. But like, what was something that like people would tell you while you were pregnant, or like as maybe Hayden was born, that like you thought was just like, no, like you kind of thought like that's just what people say, and then it came true like when that time came?
Well, I can think of one thing. Like I remember Derek and I were always like, she's not gonna go on our cell phone, like no phones, no screens or anything. Mm-hmm. And I always thought like, why are these kids like glued to their phones or whatnot? But now like, that's a lot of people are on their phones. They're taking videos, Snapchats, like anything. Mm-hmm. So she like sees that and wants to like watch videos of herself, and she's on our phone sometimes. Like she sees a phone and she wants it.
Yeah. So
I think it's just like limiting the screen time. So we try not to keep our phones around her, but I know Derek blames me because I am on my phone a lot. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, it's like I think it's probably just like, I think any kid, especially like a young child, is like just seeing what all the like big people are doing and like, oh my goodness, that looks so whatever it is that they were doing, they want to do that.
It's got
also
lights. It's cool. Like I can see myself in it.
Exactly. Yeah. She's really funny when she gets like her hands on it. Like if music's playing on it, like she'll always like do this like rock with it, and she's like holding it.
This is her move. Like
she just, yeah, that's it. What like if there's been something that what's like I guess the most positive, the best thing to come out of, like obviously other than having a human life that is one of your own, what is like the best thing that maybe you didn't anticipate, like once, like now that you've been a mom for a little bit, obviously not like she's only a little over a year, but like what has been something that maybe caught you by surprise and you're like, oh, this is awesome?
I think just feeling like, I don't know, she's kind of like a mama's girl. She loves mama. Just having that someone who always is like excited to see you. Yeah. I mean, Derek is excited to see me too, but
yeah, it's, like,
it's different when you have a baby. Like
that's not cool.
I could have a terrible day at work, and I come home and she's like, "Mama," and like just so happy to see me. So it's just nice to come home to that every day.
Is it hard when she's upset, like to deal, like, because just like hearing you talk about it in that way, like, because I'm sure like when she's happy, like you're happy. Yeah. Is it hard to not get your emotions tied up with them when she's sad because she is a baby?
Yeah. So I would say, especially in this stage, she's like kind of starting to throw tantrums.
Okay, yeah, that's gotta
So
be tough.
like, yeah, she's only 1 and she's throwing tantrums. I'm kind of scared.
Maybe she'll grow out of it fast.
We'll
then.
see. But yeah, I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Well, just like so is I don't fuck did I even say? I don't even remember how I worded that.
Oh, like when she feels upset, like it's hard not to get upset.
Because that's what, yeah. When even like when McKenna watches her, and, like if she's at the house and she starts crying, I'm immediately like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
I start getting sad, and I'm like, I don't want to make her more sad, so I just try and like walk away, and luckily I'm not watching her at the time, so then McKenna can just handle it. But you can't do that. It's your baby. So and if you're taking care of her, like how do you? Is it easier? I guess I'm only 22, so I don't really understand. I can't comprehend that.
You learn to do different things to make them happy.
But like, so you don't like, is it hard? Was it hard, especially at the beginning when like she's just crying and crying and crying or something, and you don't know what's wrong? Is it hard to not like, let you be upset, or you think that you're doing something wrong?
Yeah, definitely in the beginning when she's like a newborn and you're like, oh my god, what do I do? And it's like 2 a.m. and you tried feeding her and
you probably haven't slept either.
Yeah.
So.
But I think like as you as you get used to it and develop as a mom, you figure out things to like different things. And now sometimes I get frustrated when she doesn't stop crying.
Yeah. Now you get angry.
I'm like, what is wrong with you? Tell me.
At least you're comfortable enough to do that. That's probably better than being like
Crying.
freaking out, thinking the world is going to end, which is probably what I would do if I was in a similar situation.
You will be a great dad.
I will hopefully not be a dad.
She's obsessed
for a very
with you.
long time.
Well, yeah, let's hold off a little bit.
Yes,
but,
yeah.
She's obsessed with Darren, and all she says is D. I show him your Instagram, and she's like D.
I don't understand why. I think is when we went up to that wedding.
That was so long ago.
But no, that's like I had
That's when you
never. I was
bonded?
like nervous to like hold her before then and whatever. And then there was like I think everybody was getting ready before we went to this wedding, and she was just like sitting in the car seat or like laying on the ground. I forget where she was, and I was just like looking at her, and she was just looking at me, and she just like gave me this weird look, and I was just like, "What's up?" And she just like started saying random things. She was just gibberish. And I was just like, yeah. And then like since then she just
it's
like
a
always
bond.
yeah,
it's
she
a good
just
bond.
weirdly like stares at me but doesn't want to like talk to me. It's weird.
She was walking up to you yesterday.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. So I want to get back a little bit to being the oldest sister.
Right.
We were talking before we went on air when I was telling you maybe a little bit of what we were going to talk about. That I wasn't really like super protective as like an oldest sibling. And I know it's like a thing a lot of older siblings do. They're very protective of like their younger kin. Were you like that?
Oh my gosh, I am like the biggest worry wart. So when McKenna or Reed would go out, and like Reed was the worst because she wouldn't reply to my texts. Like she'd be out.
So you were like helicopter parenting.
Oh my gosh, I was like, they called me mom basically because I was worse than my mom.
What were you so worried about when they would go out?
I was just worried about like if they would like get in an accident or if they were drinking or like who they were out with. So I would be like, Reed, where are you? And she wouldn't text me back. And then I would be like, oh my God, McKenna, did you talk to Reed? And then I'd be like, Mom, have you talked to Reed? And then like, yeah, Reed would answer like 3 hours later as I was like still wide awake at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Why do you think, what like compelled you to like want to do that though? Like other than like obviously like, you're worried about who they're with or whatever, but like why were you so
I don't know.
worried?
I've always been a worrier. Like I've always worried that something bad was going to happen to my mom, my sister, I don't know, anyone, my dad.
See, I struggle with a little bit of that too. And I forgot who put it. It was like I think it was a video I was watching recently, and they had said something like if you worry too much about things and like you have to do it anyways, or it's gonna happen anyways, then like you're like worrying is like putting yourself through it twice.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to like do that recently.
Yeah,
to, like,
I need to work on that.
But it's really hard for me to do that.
I feel like I've gotten better over the years, right?
What's like the silliest thing that maybe like, or if you did you ever have like a freak out like protective moment? Where maybe like you guys got in a fight afterwards, or you embarrassed one of them, or maybe like you embarrassed you or something like that.
Well, I remember like when you and McKenna broke up.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Back in the day.
Way
and
back.
You and Joey were you guys in charge of like videotaping the games?
We were, yeah. We started the broadcast crew at Wilmot High School. Yeah.
I remember like looking up at you and like giving you dirty looks.
I didn't see you, so that's good. But
Oh yeah, and one was this Reed's graduation party?
what happened?
Okay, so Reed had a graduation party, and it got like a little wild with all her friends. They were all drinking heavily, and one of the guys, I think he was trying to like drive in his car, and we were all like in the basement, and he was like, "I'm leaving," and I was like. I jumped on the couch. I'm like, no, you're not. And I tackled him to the floor. And this guy was a big guy. Like, he's a bouncer at a bar in Lake Geneva, the one where McKenna fell on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
What was that called?
Hogs.
Hugs and kisses. Yeah. I tackled him to the floor.
Well, that's a good that's not even like a bad story. That's a good story.
Yeah, that was a good story.
That's the right thing to do.
I saved the day.
Yeah, that's
the big sister.
That's superwoman stuff right there.
But I did used to embarrass them a lot when they would have like gatherings at their house.
That's what everybody says, and I've seen that maybe a couple of times, but I always hear things of you like coming out and almost acting as like a character and then bringing hors d'oeuvres at a party or something they were talking about yesterday. What's up with that?
So I don't know. It's just fun. My mom, I think my dad was always hunting when this happened because I don't think he would have been okay with me acting that way. But Reed would have parties and I'd pretend to be like the yo-yo master and I'd just like swing the yo-yo around.
But why? That's like my little brother.
I just wanted to embarrass her.
Oh, okay.
And
so
then
you're like Sacha Baron Cohen back in the day. Like you're like method acting right here out in public to get a reaction.
Yeah, and then once Johnny, we like how she had a Christmas party and I think I was like, "Welcome to our Christmas party," and made him like take a bite of this really hard old caramel apple. And he did it. He did it.
Did he get Johnny's in the chat.
Yeah, and I had like little peaches with toothpicks for hors d'oeuvres, and yeah, everybody thought it was a real hit.
Really? So did like but you were trying, like you were just like deliberately trying to like be silly or be weird.
Yeah,
about
sometimes I am a little weird, so.
I think everybody's a little weird, so that's fair. But
I don't know. I just did it to be fun.
So embarrassing, OMG, says McKenna. McKenna's still getting happy birthdays in the chat.
Happy birthday.
My mom said happy birthday. My mom said happy birthday. Alex
Mom's
said happy
tuned
birthday.
in. My mom?
Yeah.
Hey, Andy.
Andrea's in the chat. What's up, Andrea? What's something that people get wrong about like the oldest sibling in your eyes, or like what's something maybe like your siblings, friends, or even maybe your siblings don't quite get from your perspective?
That's a good one. I guess when you're the oldest sibling, they always think like you like paved the way. Like basically, if you were wild and crazy, like as you get the younger sibling like gets away with more. So like maybe they think that we're the ones that like get in trouble all the time. Yeah. But I don't think I ever got really in trouble. I think maybe there was a time when mom wouldn't let me go on the computer or like wash my mouth out with soap once, but yeah, I don't think she ever.
Did you have like, so did you see that? I know like a lot of older siblings feel this way about, and I personally do as well, where it's like as like the younger sibling, like the more kids there are, I feel like
get away with more.
Yeah, parents get more lenient. Did you see that too? Was McKenna getting away with a lot more shit than you were, or
my mom was
is Reed? That's what McKenna says in the back.
Yeah, my mom was always like, she had the rule where like if you let me know, then that's fine. Like if I was going to a party, just let me know. If you need me to pick you up, just let me know. If you need me to buy alcohol, just let me know. Just kidding. She did not do that.
Just kidding. Wink, wink.
But yeah, she was very cool, and like that's kind of what I want to be like as a mom. I want my kids to be open with me. I'd rather them be open with me than lie to me about things. Like I know Derek probably lied to his mom a lot.
Oh man, we're throwing Derek under the bus a lot. He's not even here to defend himself. That's not fair. We're with like, I guess with parenting then too, are you gonna try and, because I feel like even like with the stresses that you have, like when you're a new parent, like a new mom or dad, I think like the reason like the leniency happens as you have more kids is because like you've seen things before, and like like, oh, okay, it's okay to let them go to
Yeah.
this friend's house,
Yeah.
or to let them trick or treat with their friends at this
Right.
time. Like, I think like you stress out so much, at least. And again, I have no experience, but this is just what it seems like to me. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I've seen it before,
Right.
so I know it'll be okay. And then I think they just kind of become more lenient that way.
Yeah. And I know McKenna always says she feels like she got gypped out on things like, oh, I didn't get a birthday party, or we didn't get to do this when I was, younger. So I think she kind of missed out on some stuff.
Yeah, I think that gets. I think that would. What was the example McKenna brought? Didn't she just go to Disney World or something when she was like really young?
Oh, we went a couple times.
Oh, it's all like Disney on Ice.
We saw Britney Spears. Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, that's what I think that's something. I mean, I could definitely see that with like older sibling, like, because it's, again, maybe because it's like earlier, like your first kid or kids, and it's like you're bringing them out to you just want to experience all these
Yeah.
things with them. But then as like, and it's like as the whole family, and then like as the family gets older, even though like maybe this other child is like still younger,
Yeah.
and they might want to go do those same things, like everyone else is like, oh, we've been there, done that, whatever. And it's
Yeah.
kind of harder to get everybody together to do something like that.
Yeah.
McKenna, you still want to go see Disney on Ice? Is that what
We
you're
can go
saying?
take
She says
Hayden.
yes. Yeah, we take Hayden. There you go.
Yeah.
Go to the zoo. You guys,
Didn't we
you guys
see
been going to the
Bear,
zoo?
Bear in the Big Blue House or something? Oh, maybe you weren't there. Yeah.
It's probably
probably.
probably not her then. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting the way like a family dynamic changes like that
Yeah.
as the kids get older.
And I've heard people say, like, for when you first have a baby, like you take those 1 month photos, like, oh, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. And then the second child, they're like, oh, I forgot. It's actually 5 months later and I'm
Mhm.
taking a photo of them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think maybe
See, oldest siblings, we get spoiled with that
yeah, we
because
do.
I think I have like 2 full baby books.
Yeah.
Like filled, like 2 baby binders, and then like my sister has like half of one,
Yeah.
and then like my brother has like a couple pictures.
Yeah.
And it's like that's just how I feel like that's how it goes. I could
Right.
be wrong. My mom's in the chat, maybe she'll correct me, but I'm pretty sure, according to my sister, that's the stats on that. Yeah, it's funny how that goes on, but again, I think it just makes sense. Like you're just kind of like, I've done this, as shitty as
Yeah.
that is. Like it's another kid, but it's just like, no, I know what it is now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I've done it.
I think McKenna got dragged around a lot, like to all of our sporting events too.
That happens with younger siblings
Yeah.
too. That, from what I hear, I'm happy I never had to do that.
Yeah,
that's
me
the best
either.
part about being the oldest
Me either.
sibling.
Yeah. I went to a lot of games. Yeah. I went to your grade school games too.
Well, too, like when if you guys, I mean, you guys are, you guys are like there's a decent like age gap, but it's not like super far. So it's like when you're in high school, like you're doing sports or you
Yeah.
have extra things going on. So like
And
for
when
me,
she was in high school, I was in college too. So.
yeah. So then you're busy that way too. So it's like it's hard to make it to things when you're not like directly in the same age or like very much older than the other
Yeah.
one. So that's kind of weird.
But I really did enjoy watching McKenna play her sports. She was always a little spitfire.
Yeah, she's pretty competitive.
Yeah, she was.
We get in fights all the time when we play sports. So we've gotten into. We almost broke up over bags one time. So in the
Really?
front yard, yeah, that's
What
bad.
did she win or?
No, she almost won, but yeah, she's just like not. McKenna's like really good, but she just isn't like super mentally strong yet. So I just try to train her in that way.
Yeah,
and
I need
talk-
some help in that area too.
Yeah.
Derek's been trying to train me on that for years.
Does he talk a lot of shit as well?
He does, yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
Until it doesn't though.
Yeah.
That's where I think I take it too far. I take it
He
too
does
far.
too a little bit.
I beat. McKenna. Like I've never played golf. Like I've played 5
Ooh,
times in
yeah.
my life, and so like we went mini golfing, but I couldn't lose because I'd never lost in mini golf. But I was playing an actual golfer for the first time,
Yeah.
so I had to talk like a tremendous amount of shit, and we got in. I mean, she almost hit me with the club.
Oh my
at
gosh.
one point. Yeah, so it was pretty
Reed
bad.
almost hit me with the club once too.
Like actual golfing
No,
mini
in the
golfing?
house.
in the house.
I don't know what happened, but she was not happy with me and she chased me around with the golf club. I'm like,
Did you guys like physically fight a lot, like beat each other? Because like I hear that like my friend Tim, like him and his little brother would fight all the time.
Mhm.
Like he would beat the shit out of his little brother. But like I never did that. Like we would do like fake scripted WWE fights where
Yeah.
like I would let him do a thing and then like he would let me do a move and I would always win because I would tell him that I had to win. But it was like I wouldn't actually hurt him. And so
Yeah.
like I would see a lot of other siblings like they like actually beat the fuck out of each other. Did you guys do that?
I was more of like the gentle giant. Like Reed used to like take me by my hair. Like what a pussy I was. She'd take me by the hair and like pull me around and drag me around the kitchen floor.
And you were the oldest?
And I was the oldest. But I was just a gentle giant. Is Reed listening?
You didn't want to fight? I don't know if Reed's in the chat. My mom says the stats are not true on the picks, but it is true that the younger siblings get dragged along to all the oldest child sporting events. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
But you were letting Reed.
Yeah, my mom would
beat you
always
up?
be like, "Fight back," and I'm like, "I don't want to."
So she's like egging you on.
Yeah.
She's like the referee. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah. And I think once I got older, I started like scratching back or something. But McKenna and Reed would go at it.
You hit Reed. You punched Reed in the head one time. And that was like the end of.
I did. I don't remember what for.
I've never.
You like punched her really hard in the head.
What was it for?
I don't remember.
McKenna said
Okay,
that
I guess
Brielle
I am
punched
a
her
fighter.
sister in the head once. So that's where the end of the
Reed,
violence.
I
stopped.
got you.
Yeah, that was the
What does Mom
nuke that
say?
ended it.
Dad too.
Oh yeah, dad's in the chat.
Shout
as
out to
well.
my awesome dad. He just
Shout
got a
out-
buck.
Shout out to the whole family. The whole family. I think your grandpa was said he was going to be watching too. So
Shout out to my
I don't know
grandpa.
if he knows
I'm
how
gonna
to use
beat
the
you in
live
the
chat,
voice.
But hello, and to all my people that are listening the next day on Spotify, we're talking about the live chat, so don't be confused there. Okay, so what's like the worst part about being the oldest sibling in your eyes? For me, I would say it was that there sometimes is like this, not weight almost, but like I guess kind of a weight where it's like you're doing everything for the first time and you don't have anybody to like fall back on. Like how do I go about doing this? Like, yeah, maybe your parents, like when they went to high school, but that was however many years before you or whatever. Like you're the first one to do all these first things. And so like I think as like a second, third, and fourth child, that you have someone like, hey, you've done this before. How did it go? What do I do? What am I looking for?
Yeah.
And as the oldest, you kind of have like this weight of like, I want to do it right, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And like, so for me, that would be the word. Like, what would, in your opinion, would be like something that's kind of tough being the oldest?
I guess being the role model, like you want to make sure that you're like setting a good example.
Mm-hmm.
There's my mom figure again. Like,
yeah,
I always wanted to make sure that I was, I don't know, setting a good example for them. And sometimes I didn't. So maybe that like helped them learn and grow. But yeah, I guess that would be it.
Did you ever, was there ever a time where maybe you did something where you felt like you didn't and then they called you out on it, or you guys like got in a dispute about it?
Yeah, I think with boys and like in high school, I was like a goody two-shoe up until freshman year of high school, and then I kind of got into boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could go wrong.
And I just remember, dating this one guy, and then, he broke up with me, and then I dated this other gross guy, and they're like, ew, what are you doing? Like, why are you with this guy? So just like things like that. Yeah, and partying. I partied a lot in high school.
Really?
I had a party once at my parents' house. And, I
Did
think
people destroy the house? Were people
they
bad?
peed in the frog tank. I don't know if my dad knows about this. Now he does.
They peed in the frog tank?
So someone peed in the frog tank. I think did they kill the frogs? And someone left the oven on all night long. And then I had to hide the four-wheeler key because they were trying to go out on the four-wheeler. And then there was like alcohol all over the walls. And my grandparent,
what are these people doing, dude?
I don't know. I was a sophomore, so I was hosting the seniors and juniors.
I've like heard of shit like this before. What is that ringing I keep hearing? I keep hearing like a dog whistle. I don't know what that is. You guys have to tell me if you hear
The
that.
aliens.
I don't know what it is. I've heard of people like shitting on the floor of people's
Ew.
houses and like peeing on walls and shit like that. I don't get like when does that? I mean, I didn't party really at all in high school. Like I would go to a couple of stuff, but like maybe that's why I don't know if is that a regular thing that happens at fucking
I don't know.
parties?
I think it's just dumb, drunk high school kids not knowing their tolerance. And
was that at your guys' house that you're at?
yeah,
now?
and I think my mom found out because there was a beer left in the freezer, and I think I don't know if it exploded or if she like caught it before it exploded, but I don't even know if my dad knows that story.
That's tough.
The next day I remember my grandma and grandpa were home, so I was like really scared they were going to drive by and see. But I think we went to the Dells the next day, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. No one knows.
Did people help you clean up then, or was it you? Were you kind of left to do it? Because that's why, like, first off, my house was never super appealing, so I never wanted to. I was very self-conscious, didn't want people in my house. But like, if I were to ever consider it, I always like would see the hosts of parties and see how miserable they were.
Yeah,
the
no,
day
I don't.
after.
No one helped me.
Yeah.
And I actually was. I think I must have been 15 because I didn't have my driver's license yet.
Jesus Christ.
And I had to drive someone back to their car.
And you're 15.
And I remember seeing one of our neighbors like driving by, so I was like this.
Yeah, so that's safe. Doesn't know how to driving
So
anyways.
yeah,
no,
it was kind of wild.
Yeah. How did you reel that? When did you reel that in? Was that like around the time you got to college? Or
No, college got worse probably.
Really?
Yeah. I would say probably my junior, senior year of college. I'm like, okay, this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah. And you're in HR, and we were joking yesterday and today.
I don't know why I chose that.
because we were joking. Hello, I can hear you. Is there? Oh, there's probably like a delay, so they're probably like, stop talking shit. Oh, got you. So like we were joking the last couple of days that like you work in HR, and me and McKenna are big fans of The Office now, so like we've watched that a bunch, and Toby is in HR and he gets shit on a bunch. People hate HR in general.
Yeah.
So what, like, as you're like getting out of this party stage in college, did you go to school for HR? Like, what did you?
That's the problem. I partied too hard. I didn't think about what I wanted to do. I always thought I wanted to be a teacher because my mom was a teacher. Mm-hmm. And then when I started taking the classes, and I'm like, oh, you have to make lesson plans, and I don't want to help my mom with her classroom. She's like, you should rethink this. So
that's a good call.
Yeah. So my senior year of college, I decided to go for communications because I'm like, what's going to get me out of here the fastest? Mm-hmm. And then I just minored in HR for some reason. I thought it might be fun. Mm-hmm. And then once I got in the real world, everybody really does hate HR.
Why do you think they hate HR?
Because you're like the person that has to like, I don't know, with all you have to make sure they're following the rules. You have to like discipline them.
You're the buzzkill.
Yeah. But I try to be kind of like a fun, weird HR girl.
Yeah? That sounds
I like
very
make
hard
jokes
to do.
And,
I feel like HR is like the one place it's probably really hard to land those jokes. Are you successful in landing any of these jokes?
I try to make fun. Like April Fool's Day, I like post a bunch of like weird photos of myself in people's offices. Like Christmas, I got like an ornament that with my face on it. Mm-hmm. And people ended up passing it around like the office as like a joke.
I don't know how you haven't seen The Office. This sounds like some shit that would be in
Derek
The Office.
loves The Office. I've seen a few episodes, but I don't remember the HR guy. What does he look like?
Toby, he looks very sad, but like he wouldn't do that. What you're describing sounds like something like maybe Michael would do, which is pretty funny. Yeah. But yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, I hate disciplining people. Like right now, I work in manufacturing, and a lot of the guys there are like older guys. And I don't want to discipline a 50-year-old. That's so weird.
That is weird. It's hard. I know. When I was bartending with your Aunt Renee, she was my boss, and we were working with some people that were like on call for like a wedding. Yeah. And they were 20 years older than me, and they did some very inappropriate things at a wedding, and then Renee was upset with me that I didn't discipline these four. Like that I didn't yell at them. I was like, bro, this guy's like 20 years older than me. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Don't do that.
Yeah, 20 years older than me and like 200 pounds heavier than me and like a foot taller. Like I was like, what am I? I'm a child with a beard. That's it. Like this guy's gonna beat the fuck out of me. He's like, like I don't know.
I'm kind of like funny too. Like if I see like there's like a bunch of guys that always go to the parking lot and smoke and like when I'm trying to leave for work, and I'll be like. Drive up by their car. What are you guys doing?
Jesus. And I'm sure they're probably like, not allowed to.
They're like, nothing. Keep driving. So yeah, I try to make a little fun.
So like, but HR. So is it? I mean, obviously, then it's probably hard, like, because I'm sure the stuff that you do deal with is like the more serious things. Because when people violate, if someone's in violation of like human resources department, then that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, especially right now, I'm dealing with like all the COVID stuff. So like if someone has even like a cough, they have to stay home and they call me and let me know. And then they can't come to work until they're like 24 hours symptom free. So it's just a lot, especially now in Wisconsin. So wear your masks.
Yeah, everybody wear a mask.
Speaking
please.
of bartending, what's been your like crazy experience? Like crazy, something that happened there.
Bartending. One time I had to drive a guy home
That's weird.
I've
had to do that a few times.
Yeah, but I don't even live in, like, I'm not familiar with
Yeah.
Lake Geneva at all. And so, like, I'd never seen, like, he wasn't a regular either. This is the first
Yeah.
time I've ever seen him. And I don't know, Renee was really, Reed is saying, don't ignore me. Reed, you could have come on the show today. You could have come here and talk shit.
She would have brought her golf club. Start whacking people.
She could have started messing up the whole set. But I had to. Renee said the guy got like stood up or something, and so he was like drinking real hard, and like he was down in the speakeasy just like talking to her or whatever. And I was all closed up, and she was still closing up, and she was like, "Do you think you could take him home? Like I don't think we should. I don't think we should let him drive home." And I didn't know what to fucking do or say. Yeah, I was just like, well, sure. And he didn't know where he lived. He literally walked inside of the wrong house. Like he's like, this is my house. Like I drove like 5 or 6 minutes away from the bar, and because he lived in Lake Geneva, thankfully. And I pull over on the side of the road, and we're on like the right side of the road, and he like gets out and goes up the steps and gets into this house. And then I'm like, okay, and I literally turn the car like to start driving away, and dude comes like stumbling, running out, and like slips down the steps, and then gets up, and he's like, and I'm like, are you good, bro? And he's like wait, and I like, and he's like, ooh, and like says something, and I'm like, what's up? He's like, snow my house. And I was like, you just went inside, like you just got in, you already, and so then he gets back in the car, and it was like down the block. It was like, and I don't know if the next one was or if that one was, but he got in both. So, and he didn't come back out of the second one. So
that's funny.
That's pretty weird. I mean, other than that, like the scariest thing that's ever happened was there was like a wedding. It was like a really small wedding, and this the mom of the groom, I guess they like weren't really on good terms. Like in general, I found out from her being there the day before, she was kind of like bitching about being there and whatever, and she like had flown in from somewhere else, and they didn't really talk a whole lot, but she really was excited to see like her grandson, and so like he was really young. I think he was like maybe 2, like he was walking like, you know, he's like walking like probably like about as good as Hayden, so like not like super like, you know, athletic yet or doing much, like, and I guess she was on like some pain meds, and she was drinking a ton of wine. Ooh. And like no one knew she was on pain meds, and she's carrying the baby like right before they were like getting ready to dance, and I knew this because we were carrying these tables to like flip over the ballroom, and so that people could dance, and I'm right behind her, and she like, the baby is like walking in front of her, and she like grabs him by like the bottom of his legs to like pick him up and put him on her shoulders, and like because she was so tipsy, she just like picked him up, and he just like flipped back, and like he hit this wall, and then I caught him, and I was like,
oh my gosh,
and I was like, because I dropped the table, I forget, I don't know if it was Kate or Harrison, one of the barbacks was holding the table with me, and I like dropped the table and caught the kid, and I was like, and then like the husband like came, and the kid's crying, and the husband like came, and he like looked at me like I was like and she just books it, and I like just gave the guy the kid, and I was like, I was Spider-Man. And he's like, what happened? He's like, yeah, and I'm like, I just saw her drop him, and I was scared, so I caught him, and I just here he is, like, and like,
give you a good tip?
I don't remember. They tipped you out weird on events, but then they like went upstairs in like the top part of the match where the hotel rooms were, and the dude's voice he had a deep voice, and he was screaming his like just cussing his mom out, and then I think they broke like a vase upstairs, which was pretty expensive, and then you just saw the mom run out of the room, and then she flew back, like she drove to the airport and flew back, and she was so fucked up. So I don't know if she like lived, but yeah, so that was like probably the worst thing that's ever happened. There's been tons of funny stuff, but that's probably like the scariest thing. So that would, I'm sure if we had an HR department, someone would have been getting talked to after that.
Sure.
That do you have like a lot of accident reports that come in?
Yeah, we have a lot of little like little things, nothing like crazy, like people like jamming their fingers or like hammering their fingers or something like that. But
is there ever like so like, do you make decisions then on like what like the repercussions for something? Because you said like you discipline. So like if there was like a dispute between two people, that's kind of like where you
Yeah, you
come
have to
in.
do like an investigation, get both sides of the story, and then if there were any witnesses, get their reports.
So you're doing like some detective work.
Oh yeah,
That's cool. That
Yeah.
makes HR a
that's
little
the
bit more
worst
fun.
part though. I hate disciplining. That's the worst part of HR. So, but yeah, we've had one guy that like agreed to like be like taped on their changeovers for machines or whatever, and then once the camera was on him, he was like flipping off the camera and like texting on his
awkward.
cell phone and like throwing he threw like a towel on the camera so they couldn't see him, but like he agreed to it, so it was
That's
like, come
kinda,
on, guy.
yeah, that's kind of weird, man.
Yeah.
You dropped the ball right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty weak. What's something that like you wish you knew? I guess maybe it would be just that disciplining people sucks, but like what
Yeah.
would be something you wish you'd known before like getting into HR? Or maybe even just before getting into like a real job, you know, because like when you're in high school and college and like you work jobs, and like even in my case, like I've still only worked like, you know, like smaller jobs. Like I've never worked like a real big boy job. Like what is something that you didn't expect?
So I wish I would have thought more about my career choice, and like I can't stand sitting at a desk all day. Like bartending is really rewarding because you're like walking around and taking care of people, and then you get like your compensation, like your tips right away, whereas HR, you don't get that like satisfaction right away. I mean, it's nice when you like bring somebody on board, like you hire someone and get them a job, like that's rewarding, or you know, you get to recognize an employee, but yeah, satisfaction, like bartending right away, whereas HR is like you gotta wait a little while.
Do you miss, because you as well as McKenna and Reed all bartend at the Sandbar or whatever, did you miss not being able to do that this year, or was it a good break?
I've been bartending every summer since I was 18.
Wow.
So it was kind of nice, but it felt weird because I'm like, what am I gonna do with myself on the weekend? But I do have a baby now, so that took up a lot of time.
Yeah.
So that was nice to get to spend more time with her. But yeah, I did miss it because like the Sandbar people are like your family, and the customers you meet throughout the years are like family and friends. So
yeah, regulars and whatnot to keep the
and
place
it was
running.
nice. I did miss the cash too, like extra spending money that Derek didn't know about.
That's fair. That's definitely a plus.
Keep my secret stash.
OMG, Darren, I'm your biggest fan. Shut up, Tyler. I'll murder you. I'll murder your family.
Who's Tyler?
That's Big Ty.
Oh, Tyler. I saw him running. So I caught you guys at the end of your race.
Oh yeah.
And I saw the kid he worked at the Sandbar too.
Justin, yeah.
Justin.
They were like
I thought
a
that was
mile
you.
ahead of me. They were like
I'm
a
like,
mile
Darren!
ahead of me.
And he's like, no, that's not you. And then I saw Ty and Alyssa, and I was like, where's Darren? And I like giggled or something, and Ty's like, oh yeah, I needed that laugh, and like pushed him through the last mile or whatever that was.
He's a weird fucking dude. So that's Big Ty. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
My mom says, yeah, what about Safe Ride? The Wisconsin Tavern League offers those for free. Yeah, I know, Mom. My mom told me about that after
you drove him home.
Yeah, I think this was like a little, maybe a year and a half ago or something, and she had first told me about that. And yeah, that I didn't know that existed, or else I would have called that for that guy back that we were talking about. That's weird stuff.
I had to drive a guy home once, and
really?
I knew him. He like babysat us once. JK.
That's weirdly full circle.
Yeah, so his sister used to babysit us, and then one time he came along and babysat us. But he was at the bar, and he was really drunk. He literally did a somersault out of my car to get to his house. Like he rolled out of my car. That's how drunk he was.
Oh, so he didn't land a somersault. Like,
no,
he
he probably just kept going.
Oh, okay, he just kept rolling. That's fair.
Yeah, full circle right there.
That's scary. You know, it's scary with people getting that like wasted when they're out like at bars, like especially in Wisconsin, like where we have bad winters and stuff. Like I have a friend in Janesville. He was one of the guys on my team. His like cousin, I think it's his cousin, got drunk at a New Year's Eve party, and Reed Standing said, "Boy, what is?"
Oh yeah, that was Jay Kaylee. She called him boy.
Jay Kaylee, boy. Oh, okay. And his friend or his cousin got drunk at this New Year's Eve party at a bar, and like he went outside to like smoke a cigarette or something, and his friends didn't know he went outside, and he passed out outside, and he ended up like he lost a couple of fingers, and like he was in rehab for a really long time. So like it's scary out here, like especially
especially the winters.
we have really bad winters. So be careful if you're going out to the bar, and make sure your friends know where you're going, or don't go to the bar.
Don't go to the bar right now. It's dangerous.
And don't go to the bar. Yeah, right.
And wear a mask.
Yeah, it's weird. It is funny with people with the masks, and they bring up. I think it is a valid point that people say like, oh, why do I got to wear a mask into a restaurant and just take it off immediately? I'm like, no, I agree with you, but for different reasons. I just don't think we need the restaurants open at all. So
yeah, people are always like, you're gonna give up like going to a bar, restaurant for a whole year. I'm like, yeah.
Well, it wouldn't have been it really won't be a full. If we just like did it, it wouldn't be a full year. But I understand what they're trying to say. It's just like a straw man argument.
Lives matter more than drinks.
No, yeah, exactly. What I have, that's pretty much.
We're gonna have a.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
play a game.
We were gonna play a game. That's what we were gonna do. McKenna. So it's McKenna's birthday.
Do we need to write something down?
We were gonna. Yeah, I've got some pen. I had another pen. I just dropped it. And
who knows McKenna more?
We're gonna see who knows McKenna more on her 22nd birthday here. 22nd years on this earth. Brielle and I are going to compete to figure out who knows McKenna more. McKenna, do you want to...
Wait, I need something to write with.
Are you going to repeat the question?
Yeah,
well, sure, yeah. Oh, you got a pen. Okay.
I need a paper.
Oh,
okay, McKenna is going to... So you guys... I'm going to...
the audience ask a question. I only have 4. So maybe
okay.
The audience can ask.
The audience is probably not going to know a question. So we'll just ask us a couple.
Okay,
okay, so people watching, just people in the live chat, just so you know what's going on, McKenna is going to ask a question. I will repeat said question. Brielle and I will each write down an answer. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds if you want to play along and type it in the chat and give us your best guess. And then we'll both show our answers, and I'll probably get them wrong, and Brielle will win, and then we'll move on.
You didn't remember her birthday yesterday.
No, I did remember. It's so messed up that everybody's running with that. All right, let's go. What's the first question?
What sauce do I get on my cauliflower wings?
What sauce does McKenna get on her cauliflower wings? That's bullshit. There's a couple, isn't?
Don't look at the chat, Darren.
Why?
All right, let's see what the answer is. Brielle, what's your answer?
I put buffalo hot ?
I put medium.
Oh.
She says it is.
So we both won.
It's both of them. That's a weak question. I cheated. I looked at Alyssa's in the chat. Well, that's what I didn't know what you meant because you never had cauliflower. That was a bad question.
Come on, that's new.
That's weak.
What was my favorite all-time job?
What was her favorite all-time job? Oh, that's.
You should know this.
Me?
Okay.
Wait, I don't remember
what was McKenna's all-time favorite job? I will list her jobs off that she's had, and then if I miss one, you can tell me. You worked as a lifeguard. You worked for the Maxwell Mansion, for Panera Bread, and for the Sandbar. Anywhere else?
Oh, it's probably.
I was also a cart girl.
And she was also a cart girl.
You probably picked Panera.
She was a cart girl. The chat saying Panera. Brielle, what was your answer?
I said lifeguard.
Mine was also Panera. So I know that because of the thousands of dollars worth of food that they maybe know or did not know that they donated to me through McKenna. So I knew that one. Okay. So it's 1-0 or 2-1 if we both count.
All right, 2-1, fine.
2-1.
Come on, something old.
What is my all-time favorite TV show?
What is McKenna's all-time favorite TV show? Dude, I don't.
Or.
This is an easy one.
I don't know. Is it really? Mine's wrong. Mine's wrong. I know it's wrong. Okay, Does anybody in the chat have a guess? I hate that. How are we supposed to guess this with no like A, B, C, or D?
Mom said The Nanny.
The Nanny.
I love The Nanny, actually.
Okay, Brielle, what's your answer?
I put Caillou or Sagwa.
it's
Sagwa,
probably-
you're my
Sagwa
best
was probably- I
friend.
put Sabrina, that witch show you watch.
Oh.
I was gonna put Vampire Diaries, but I thought that would be too easy.
I said like
Okay, so I'm still winning. It's still 2-1 me. No one
Yeah.
got that one.
was like
What's the nanny that your mom is talking about?
It's a funny with that Fran. Her name was Fran, and she was like,
I've never heard that.
I used to watch it all the time, like
Well,
before bed.
Maybe your memory is skewed, so you're not giving it the full. That was mine, Brielle.
What? Sagwa?
I think Sagwa. Yeah.
Sagwa,
I've
you're
heard
my
her say
best friend.
Okay, what's how many more questions? People that just joined the chat, we're trying to figure out McKenna's favorite things. She's asking us serious questions about her. It's her birthday today, so Brielle and I are competing. Score is 2-1 me.
Fran's laugh is ridiculous. Yeah, she's got a funny laugh.
Come on, McKenna, what's this last question? Or do you have two more? Two more.
how many pillows do I sleep with?
These questions are the worst.
You gotta repeat it.
How many pillows does she sleep with is the question. I'll give a second for the audience to guess. If anybody has. Sagwa, you're my best friend. I've never heard of that until you guys.
You never saw Sagwa?
No. I watched Caillou a little bit. I watched like anime, like very
Yeah, that's
fighting
weird.
stuff. Yeah, it's not weird. It's cool now. It was weird when I was growing up. I got made fun of for it a lot, but
I think
it's cool
still
now.
weird.
No, it's cool now. Everyone wears the backpacks and everything. It's legit. Alyssa says 3 pillows. I say 2 pillows.
I said 2. One?
You have 2.
Darren, you
long
sleep
one.
with her every night.
You-
How do you
The
not?
long one doesn't count 'cause I don't use it.
But okay,
What
so
was it?
she's being technical now. There's 2 pillows.
How about what was your favorite food when you were younger? Chips and dip.
That's chip. I heard chips and dip was a fave.
What did she used
Okay,
to call
you
me
gotta
when
give
she was
us another
younger?
one. You give us one more question. If Brielle gets it right, then we do a tiebreaker one, and if I get it right or none of us get it right, then I win.
Oh
She's
my
got to think of
goodness.
another question. While that's going on, I can't. We've got some people in the chat. What if you're watching? What's the silliest or funniest thing that you know of McKenna?
That's my favorite candy.
Worst question, said Reed
Yeah.
Stanek. Yeah, this is legit.
These are questions are the worst.
You said what's your favorite candy?
What did you used to sleep with? Silky.
Okay, Darren's not gonna know that.
Okay.
Wait, I gotta
We're
figure
doing
this out.
what's her favorite candy? And Reed, we all agree that these are the worst questions.
Are these like chocolate candy?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just trying to.
Well, I can't spell this word, but
Okay, let's see.
Probably wrong.
What was McKenna's nickname? See, your mom's got
Moo
questions.
Moo.
Yeah, Moo. Kit Kat was my answer.
Reese's.
Okay, I won
Oh yeah, you don't like
3-1.
peanut butter.
I won 3-1.
The worst questions of all
in
time.
the quiz of McKenna, I won. Well, Brielle, we pretty much we've talked about you being the oldest sibling. We've talked about your decision to go into HR and you being a mom. What do you have any questions for me? Or,
Yeah. What was your first job?
Tech.
Well, yeah.
My family owned Big Al's, and so like I did like a couple of random things there when I was like really young, but I didn't like work there. My first job was working at Harvest Time Orchards.
Me
or the apple
too.
orchard.
Oh my gosh, I used to fall asleep out there.
Where did you work in the field?
I used to work the pick your own.
Yeah.
On the picking side where I'd have to hand out bags to cars.
Oh yeah, I did that for a little bit.
Yeah,
too.
and I used to fall asleep out there all the time.
Damn, they must not have been busy when you were doing it. Cause
Some days they weren't in the rain. Yeah.
we were always slammed. I had to work in like the Bratz house part
Oh,
of it
yeah, yeah.
first. Then I got moved to the cider barn, and then I got moved to the deli.
I
and
never worked over there.
Yeah, it's fun. The cider barn's cool. The deli is cool, but scary because I thought I was gonna slice my hand off a bunch of times. And then I did the pick your own too. So I worked like every part of that place other than the donut shop because they
Yeah.
only have girls working there. So
Yeah, I didn't get to work at the donut shop.
you don't want to. My sister did, and it's scary. It's
Yeah?
like a sweatshop in there.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's they're cranking them out. But I love that place. Nothing bad to
Yeah.
say about them. But
It was fun.
yeah, that was my first job. What was your first job?
I worked at the apple orchard
That was,
too.
oh, it was your first job.
And then I worked at Do It Best. I was a cashier there. I fell asleep in the garden center a lot.
Why did you? That's what everyone was talking about yesterday. You just fall asleep.
I can fall asleep
everywhere.
anywhere. I fell asleep once in the back of the driver's ed car. They told you you'd fail. But Moveridge was my softball coach, so he let me pass.
Well, shout out to Moveridge.
Shout out to Moveridge. And then he saved my life once when I fell asleep on the baseball bench.
How
Like,
you falling asleep on this dude's
the ball was coming at my head, and he's like, Brielle! And then I woke up.
See, I'm too like, I'm like very sleep deprived because I don't know how to fall asleep anywhere, like even in a bed. But like in high school when I was like very sleep deprived, like I would definitely like do that thing in like math class.
Yeah.
And like, but I was so scared of ever falling asleep fully. Like, were you just
Oh, I
comfortable
did it all
falling
the time.
asleep?
Yeah.
Did you ever get like slapped by like a teacher or somebody to be like,
No.
wake up? Or they try and scare you or something?
No, they kind of let me get away with it, or I just played it off well. I don't know how. I fall asleep pretty easily though.
That's
Cars. Well, yeah. Now it's a little difficult.
Yeah, with the child, that makes it harder.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, well, that's pretty much all I have for you. So unless you have anything else,
I had a question.
Well, yeah.
How long did it take you to write that song about McKenna, or what made you want to write a song about her?
She's referring to the Does
It's
It
so
For Me
cute.
song. I wrote the chorus for it and like the first half of it in like the same day, probably in like an hour. Like it was,
Oh wow.
I don't know, it was like something. Well, it's like I wouldn't say it's like that. Like when I write songs, I'm usually like working on like 4 to like 10 at once,
Yeah.
and it's like I will like write all the choruses first, and then like out of those I'll like pick like 5 of them, like half of them I'll be like, okay, I like these ones, and then it kind of depends on like on the instrumentals, like if I'm really feeling like the beat or whatever, and I really like that beat, and I kind of just sat down one day and just was like, I had the chorus already and I knew what I wanted it to be about, and then it I don't know, when it's a good song, it's just a matter of sitting down and like actually doing it. But yeah, I like to only write about what I know, and not like, I don't like to like put on a front and rap about other things or like sing about other things. So yeah, I know McKenna, and so that's what the song's about.
Well, I'm very thankful that she's got a boyfriend like you.
Well, I appreciate that. She's got a
You guys
failing
are-
SoundCloud rapper as a boyfriend. That's awesome.
Well, and I just think you guys are like a really good couple, because you guys like take care of each other, and you're so kind all the time. So
We try. I have to
McKenna's blushing.
I have to clean up the cat puke today. So
Oh yeah,
We-
that's true love
for
right
the,
there.
For the like 7th time ever. It's like been 7 times.
Yeah.
I slack in that department, but yeah. Well, I thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
We were talking before we went live about how you were in HR and how HR and accounting, because
Oh
Derek
yeah.
does accounting,
Yeah.
and those are like the 2 like least desirable.
And we
career
found each
paths,
other.
and you guys found each other. So
Look
like
at
it obviously works that way too. So
I hope Hayden is something way cooler.
I wonder if she'll like resent. I mean, everybody already kind of resents, with all due respect to HR and accounting.
Yeah. Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
already kind of does resent those
Yeah.
things. So I'm sure she'll probably at least try something else. Maybe she'll be super like neat and like organized and want to
Oh,
get
she
into
already
accounting.
is. She's very anal about little things like that already.
Well, if she's good at I mean, I'm jealous of people that are good at
Me
math.
too.
Because like I was like always smart enough to like make the smart like the advanced math
Yeah.
classes, but I was not smart enough to be in those and do well. And so I was always the
Me
kid
either.
getting made fun of. But like
Yeah.
my friends that were not in that class, like I could easily roast all of them. Like,
Yeah.
but it just no, it was like I
Yeah.
sat right in the middle. It's not cool.
I wasn't good at math either. Thank
It's
God
tough.
for Derek.
Yeah.
He's got spreadsheets galore for everything.
Yeah, he does. He really helped me out the other day. So that's I would have been lost. I have
Yeah.
no idea what he was doing with some of it. It was just perfect. So, but yeah. Other than that, I don't have anything else. So I want to say thank you for being on the
Thanks
show.
for having me.
Yeah, it
this
was
was
fun to
fun.
have you
I was
on.
scared, but yeah, this was fun.
I'm glad you had a good time. It's not that scary. I'm not
No.
coming at you with any ulterior motives. This isn't Borat. There's no setup. It's not a 15-year-old girl, and you're not the president's lawyer, so
Yeah,
that works out.
it's a plus.
Yeah, and other than that, I want to say thank you to everybody who's in the live chat watching. Thank you to everybody who's wishing McKenna a happy birthday. I'm sure she's very thankful. Yeah, Reed is next. We'll have to get Reed on. My sister's next week, so then that leaves just my dad from my family, and then we're getting close to we're
Ooh,
getting
I
close.
thought I was not in the camera.
Oh no, that's all good. We're getting close. We're getting close to getting all my family, and then maybe we'll get the rest of McKenna's family on the show.
Ah, there it is.
McKenna, you want to pull up patrons? I want to say thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can go to patreon.com/Darren Rita. Over there, there's a couple of exclusive videos on there, as well as you get weekly shouted out on every podcast, and it just really helps us out. Just another way to help support the channel. So thank you to everybody who's doing that. Other than that, thank you to Kenosha Auto Insurance for sponsoring another episode of the show. And any last words, Brielle, before we end this episode? Anything you want to say to the good people of Detox?
Be kind, wear a mask, and don't be racist.
Those are great closing statements. That has been episode 72 of the Detox Podcast. I will see you guys next week.